everyone. My name is Anila Rose. Tell me the truth. If I walked into your office with my red hair and my tattoos, would you hire me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Or would you think, she's too much?
I think you're very cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Good place to start, right? So for 22 years in corporate, if someone asked me, who are you? I would almost always answer with my title. Head of CX, head of assurance, head of government accounts, etc. Right? I lived that title. It was cool, it was respectable, it was very safe. Then one day, I lost my job. I left with almost nothing. No team, no meetings, calendars totally empty. I didn't know who I was. So the simple question there for me was, who was I? Without all of those titles, who was I? You know, when I left my lanyard and walked away with almost nothing, that was the question running through my mind. It wasn't even the financial risk. It wasn't the unknown, but it was really wondering who I was all this time without this title. That brings me to this journey of discovery to find out what was happening within me. There was an ache, there was emptiness. I really didn't know who I was anymore because I was a provider, I was a caregiver, I was a single mom, right? So at the same time, I was doing my degree in counseling and I had to write a paper on grief. So I was researching different kinds of loss. It could be divorce, it could be childbirth, it could be so many different things. And as I was looking through it, one stream kept coming back to me. Disorientation, there was anxiety, there was worry, there was pain, and there was this deep ache. Suddenly I realized, that's what I'm feeling. That describes me. It's grief. And that's where I connected the dots and came up with exactly what I was feeling. It's identity grief, when I didn't know who I was anymore. And so this language then gave me the courage to step forward and look at what I could do and really discover who I was. That brings me to this journey, or this question is, who am I now? I knew who I was, I thought I knew who I was, but who am I now? So this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to walk you through this journey, this model that I came up with that really helped me move forward. It's called the GROW model, right? I know you've heard of other GROW models. This is my GROW model. G is for grieve, R is for recognize, O is to own your superpower, and W is to weave. So let me tell you what it is, right? Grieving is to really acknowledge your pain. It's to acknowledge your past. It's to acknowledge that you were somebody. I did have a team of 125 people. They were my community. They were my family. So acknowledging and honoring your past is such an important thing, no matter what stage of life you're in. R is to recognize. It's to recognize this liminal in-between space that we're in sometimes, right? It's like standing between two doors. You're in this doorway where you don't know where you're going. You know it's on the left, on one end of the door is there's familiarity, right? It's familiar. It's like for the speaker before me, you knew there was a job, there was a paycheck coming through. On the other side, you don't know what's happening. So you are in that land of in between. It's scary. It's absolutely scary. I knew I could survive for 6 months, but I need to put food on the table as well. It was absolutely scary. But I also want to remind you of all the stories we've learned today. That is the place where you flex. You start growing your new muscle. You start recognizing that before all those titles, there was a me. There was a little girl who had hopes. There was a woman who had dreams. And there were superpowers within me. So that's recognized. It's really to understand that liminal space and use it to grow and plan your future. We come to O. That's my favorite. It's owning your superpower. It's really understanding what is the superpower that I have. Beyond all of those titles, beyond all of those spaces, what are the things that actually stayed with me? So this is where I want to talk to you about another doorway that appeared. It was the running track, right? So for the last 5 or 6 years, I've been walking every day, 5 to 10 kilometers every day. Then all of a sudden, I'm sitting on a plane from KL back to Singapore, and I was thinking, I want to run. I can run, right? My body was telling me I can run, but my head was telling me, nah, you're a couch potato. You can't run, right? So it was this kind of struggle within me. But I persevered. I signed up. The next morning, I got up at 6:30 in the morning and slowly started running. I'd do a little bit of running, a little bit of walking, and it felt good. And you know what I did the next day? I went and signed up for the 10-kilometer SCV, Standard Chartered Run. So that was for the 7th of December. So I've been training. I felt so good, you know, at 53 years of age. I'd never ever run before. I was really building new muscle. But you know what? 2 weeks before the race, on the 10th, or this was the 7th of December, 2 weeks before that is when I lost the job. I was paralyzed, totally paralyzed. I couldn't move, I couldn't sleep. I was averaging about 2 hours of sleep a day. But I kept going. That whole night before the 7th, I couldn't, I couldn't sleep. But I still woke up at 4 a.m., went to the track. It was such a good feeling. There were thousands of people there. And that buzz, that adrenaline rush was just amazing. I did run. I did finish that race, right? So that's owning your superpower. It's really finding out. And through that space, through all of that work that I did, through the therapy, through my mentors, through my coaches, what I realized was that I needed to find my superpowers. They were always there. They were simmering underneath, just waiting for me to harness it, just like that running, right? So what is your superpower? You know, find your superpower. And I realized that my superpower is to create exquisite customer experience where people feel seen, heard, and limitless. So find your superpower today. We finally come to weave. Weaving is so important. You know, it's our fabric of the community. When I left my 22-year corporate job, I had nearly 5,000 LinkedIn connections. Do you know how many reached out to me? Less than 5. I felt alone. I felt scared. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know if I had friends. Do you know what? You don't build in isolation. You have your tribe. You have your people around you. And that's what I realized. Your tribe, I see hugs in the room, right? Your tribe know even before you what your superpowers are. So my mentors, to my coaches, I give them the credit for tapping me on my shoulder, that voice telling me, hey, you can do it. We'll coach you. Don't worry, you will get there. Those messages of hope still resonate for me. That was amazing. So weaving is so important. It's for us to remember that communities like this, the Toastmasters, you know, APSS, the MAPS conventions, they're the shoulders of giants that we walk on. They went before us. They know the journey, right? It's like me speaking this message because I want to share that voice. I want to share my story with you. So we come to the 100 Voices of Resilience, right? We're all here today. This is my voice. I'm sharing my story through identity grief, through that liminal space, through that doorway to who I am becoming. So who am I becoming now, right? I'm a professional services lead. I'm a writer. I'm a keynote speaker. I'm building an app. I'm an app builder. And I'm continually growing. And yes, I did get that job, so thank you. Thanks for the vote of confidence, right? So through all of that, I wanted to remind you that every one of us here has a voice too, right? And remember that those voices are so important. Some of you might have identity issues. Some of you might have lost a friend. Some of you might be holding a hand for someone who's in that space. So I want to remind you, harness the power of growth. And this is so, so very important to us. I want to remind you of one thing, right? The key truth is not about proving your worth. What really is the truth is that you matter. Every one of us matter. I want to leave you today with one question. If you were to lose your title today, whatever that title is, it could be mother, it could be boss, it could be entrepreneur, what would you choose to become? How you rebuild your life with community and with purpose is the single most important work that you will ever do. So, let's grow together. Thank you.